ready for a very interesting lesson? In this unit, we're going to make a basic game where the goal is to dodge incoming obstacles. Sounds cool, right? Before we start, let's do a quick review of what we covered in the last lesson. We covered how to use a Python library by importing it with import. Then, we created a game loop using while. Inside the main game loop, we created a for loop to iterate through all the Pygame events. Next, we checked to see if any of those events involved clicking the X in the corner of our game window. If that event became true, we quit our game. Then, we used the fill method to fill our game background with a color, as well as the circle method to create a circle. Finally, to refresh our circle, we used the flip method, and once the loop ended, we quit Pygame using the quit method. So now that we know about how to get Pygame running, we want to focus on the game that we're actually going to make. The game we're going to make is a basic game where the goal is to dodge incoming obstacles. In this lesson, we'll be setting up our game so we can start adding sprites in later lessons. For today's lesson, please go to replit.com and create a new REPL and name it PGD10. Import Pygame and then initialize it like we did last lesson. And add the example code to your main.py. Now you need something to draw on. Let's create a screen to be the overall canvas for our game. We create the screen to use by calling pygame.display.set_mode and passing the desired width and height. Here's the syntax. The window is 800 by 600, as defined by the constants screen width and screen height. Add the code below pygame.init, and you should see a new window pop up. Next, let's add a loop to control gameplay. We did this last lesson. Add this code to your editor. Look familiar? You probably remember it from the last lesson. Key presses, mouse movements, and even joystick movements are some of the ways in which a user can provide input. All user input results in an event being generated. Dealing with events is referred to as handling them, and the code to do so is called an event handler. You access the list of all active events in the queue by calling pygame.event.get. Go ahead and call this event in a new editor window. Loop through this list, inspect each event type, and familiarize yourself with what's there. If the event.type is equal to a key down, then we can check which key it is using the event.key. Here, we use event.key to exit the while loop using a conditional statement. Add this code to your editor. But what if the user closes the window? Well, we'd also want to stop the game. Remember the elif function? It comes in handy here. When you add these lines to the previous code and run it, you'll see a window with a blank or black screen. Press the escape key to close the window. Today, we introduced events which allow us to add key presses, mouse movements, and even joystick movements to your game. All right, nice work today. I'll see you again soon.